The Coast AM and CBS Radio News. Chattanooga's news talk. You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
WSDT Sunny Daisy, Chattanooga.
CBS News. I'm Steve Kathan. The maker of the widely used EpiPen, the auto-injector to deliver medicine to treat severe allergic reactions, is out with changes after dealing with a week of criticism over huge price increases. CBS's Stephen Portnoy.
Mylan CEO Heather Bresch defends her company's decision to raise the price of EpiPens to $600 a pack.
We've put hundreds of millions of dollars behind it.
She tells CNBC the company has heard consumers' complaints. Mylan says it will offer patients a savings card covering up to $300, and the company says EpiPens will be free for lower-income uninsured patients. Nancy Widows has insurance, but because she hasn't hit her deductible,
I ended up paying $522
for a drug that could save her 19-year-old son with a seafood allergy. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News.
Indiana's governor is off the campaign trail to deal with a disaster close to home.
I'm Mike. I'm your governor. Good to see you guys.
Mike Pence, the GOP nominee for vice president, greeting people who've suffered losses in yesterday's tornadoes. The National Weather Service says one of the dozen twisters that rolled through central Indiana yesterday had winds hitting 165 miles an hour. That powerful one hit the city of Kokomo. CBS's Jerika Duncan is covering.
You're seeing the homes that have been ruined, businesses that were destroyed, the trees that have been broken off, areas where the tornado did pick up parts of another home or business and continued to barrel through that community.
Tony Slocum with the state police on the human toll.
We had a very fortunate situation with 15 to 20 minor injuries. Unfortunately, there were some businesses and homes destroyed, but we could rebuild those.
Overseas, CBS's Seth Doan is in the earthquake zone in central Italy.
Have become ghost towns. Aftershocks continue to rattle this region. So even where homes are still standing, many are deemed too unsafe to return to.
The quake is blamed for at least 241 deaths. Donald Trump has turned up the heat on his Democratic rival for the White House.
Hillary Clinton is a bigot. People of color only as votes, not as human beings.
Campaigning in Jackson, Mississippi, he likened his campaign to the successful British effort to exit the European Union. Clinton campaigns today in red state Nevada. Well, just days after telling us Jennifer Lawrence is Hollywood's highest paid actress, Forbes magazine says Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson earned more than $64 million in the year ending June 1st to be the highest paid actor. Forbes writer Natalie Robomed.
Actresses are under 50, while 45% of the actors are over 50. We even have two folks on the list, one Indian actor and Harrison Ford, who are in their 70s.
The Dow is up 9 points. This is CBS News.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? I'm Jim O'Connor, independent life insurance agent specializing in term life insurance. There's been a price war between the major life insurance companies. If you've had your term life policy more than 2 years, you may be paying too much. Age 45, non-tobacco user, issue preferred best. $1 million of coverage is only $56 a month, guaranteed level for 10 years. Or a male age 50, non-tobacco user, issue preferred best. $500,000 of coverage is only $91 a month, guaranteed level for 20 years. The life insurance industry is going through exciting changes. Make sure you're not paying too much for your term insurance. For new or replacement term life insurance, call for a free quote. 800-799-0903. That's 800-799-0903. Don't pay too much for your term insurance. Call 800-799-0903 or visit my website at term22.com. That's term22.com. Underwriting and may vary by state.
Another major question faces Louisiana after all the flooding, as we hear from WWL Radio's Dave Cohen.
Will a disturbance near Puerto Rico get into the Gulf and head toward Louisiana while the state is still dealing with historic flooding?
There is a distant possibility.
So New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu is advising residents to keep an eye on it.
Just want to put everybody on alert to begin to watch.
Computer models mostly want to send the disturbance to Florida, but Dr. Jack Bevan at the National Hurricane Center says there are large uncertainties regarding the system's development and future track. Dave Cohen for CBS News, New Orleans.
Mortgage rates stayed at near record levels this week. The mortgage giant Freddie Mac says the average on a 30-year fixed loan is 3.43%, same as last week. The all-time low, notched in late 2012, is 3.31%. The 15-year fixed checks in now at 2.7%. Steve Capen, CBS News.
I'm Jamie Seminoff, investigating video door.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Expect partly cloudy, hot, and humid weather out there through the afternoon. A stray shower storm possible, but not many. Highs 91 to 93. Tonight, muggy again under fair skies, lows lower 70s. For Friday, hot, humid, highs lower 90s. Back into the 90s as well through the weekend. Check out Super 8. When you're on the road and it's time to stop for the night, count on Super 8 Hotels, where you'll always find a dependable room at a great rate. Learn more and book today at super8.com. And I'm Swarm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Core.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
Hot News Talk 1240.
AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio. With your chance to win $124 in cash and $124 in food every week with the Hot News Talk Radio 1, 2, 3 NASCAR contest.
Hot News Talk 1240.
All you have to do is guess who's going to be first, second, and third place in the upcoming NASCAR Sprint Cup race. If you guess it, you'll hear your name live Monday morning at 11:30. Then call AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio to win. Enter your guess right now at Rick Davis Golden Diamonds, 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. Wimpy's Restaurant in Soddy Daisy across from City Hall. Diesel Off-Road Technology Soddy Daisy. For your four-wheel drive and truck needs, stuff and upholstery with premium rubber foam. Cell Surgeon, the Broken Screen Dock. And Shooter's Supply, 4824 Hickson Pike in Hickson.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Enter your guesses now and then listen to the race live to win $124 in cash and $124 in food from Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Hot News Talk 1240.
I love NASCAR. Welcome to the Art Beat of Chattanooga. Hope you're having a great day. The Art Beat of Chattanooga, where art lives. Glad you're joining us today. The guest, Alexis, and we are going to Alexis Montclair, and we're going to talk about cosplay today, which I know nothing about. So I'd like to thank Judah Guitars, located on Ditto Valley and Boy Scout Road, for sponsoring the Art Beat of Chattanooga. Judah Guitars, where all your wildest dreams come true. So I hope you're having a great summer, and as you know, there's a million things to do in Chattanooga, and as the fall season kicks off with everyone back to school, we've got the usual choices downtown plus more all the time. Anything from theater to comedy to movies, art galleries, everything that you want to do, dancing. So get on downtown, enjoy it. I'd like to also mention this Saturday, the Southern Bend Yoga Festival, which is a nonprofit organization supporting CODA, Children's Organ Transplant Association. And this is a first-time event, a yoga festival with yogis from all over the world, classes, acro yoga, kayak yoga. Never seen that before, but it does support a wonderful cause. So it's going to be a great, great festival. So I hope you can come down. Saturday starts at noon in Coolidge Park. So that's the Southern Bend Yoga Festival, benefiting Children's Organ Transplant Association right here in Chattanooga. So, all right. So Alexis has joined us this morning, and this is going to be fun because background, and I know very little about cosplay. So I'm just going to ask the questions, and I probably won't know what some of it means. But can you give the listeners first, I guess, what is cosplay in case somebody listening does not know?
So cosplay is a mashup of the two terms costume play. It originated over in Japan because, of course, it does. And what it is basically you are taking a pre-built character. It can be comics, movies, video games, anything. And you create the costume and you get into character. So I dress up as, say, I don't know, Wonder Woman. I put on Wonder Woman's outfit. I go out there and I act like Wonder Woman. I am costume playing Wonder Woman.
So costume playing. So it's short for cosplay for costume playing. So it's kind of like Halloween whenever you want.
Exactly.
To get candy.
Well, I mean, it depends on where you're going while you're cosplaying, but yeah, you can get candy.
There you go. So I know there's a big convention coming up, and every year there is a big convention, and you're part of that. And there's also the convention here in Chattanooga that you're a part of. Can you tell our listeners about that in case they want to dress up and have some fun?
Oh boy. Well, the one coming up soon is going to actually be next weekend, and that's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's called Dragon Con. It occurs every year on Labor Day. It goes from Thursday to Monday. It is the biggest multi-fandom convention, usually on the East Coast. It has about 60,000 people that, invade downtown Atlanta, and it's everything from fantasy, Star Trek, Star Wars, anime, video games, fantasy, sci-fi. You will see it all. And it's a good first-timers convention. If you have more sensitive people with you, like maybe kids and stuff, probably want to not go at night because that is when the adult programming sort of flips over. But just a warning for you new people. Local here in Chattanooga, we do have a convention that happens every February called Con Nooga. It is, again, multi-fandom. It's comics, movies, books, everything. They have a specialty kids track that are just for the little ones to kind of get them into the swing of con life. And that happens usually the last weekend of February. So that'll be coming up at the Chattanooga Choo Choo this year. And I run their cosplay and LARP programming for that convention in particular.
Term that some of us who haven't been involved in cosplay, at least I don't really know what that is. What is that?
Okay. LARP is live action role play. You might be familiar with like Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering and things like that. That is taking a tabletop game like Dungeons and Dragons off the tabletop and playing it out in the woods with your friends. The next level of cosplay and LARP are sort of intermixed in between each other because they are role playing in costume. But cosplay is generally standalone. You can be Wonder Woman and go out and cosplay by yourself, but LARP is more of a team effort. It is a designed kind of live action video game.
Very fun. It sounds like a riot. And so just anybody can get involved in that, but is it required that you wear a costume to be involved?
In LARP, it depends. Some games have what's called high immersion. When you walk into their game, they want you to feel like you are entering a new world. Others are a little more lax about that. Those are called parlor LARPs. They still have some costuming requirements, but there's no like physical beat 'em up combat or anything. And to get involved in conventions like Dragon Con, you can go in t-shirt and jeans, and you are not going to be out of place at all. The cosplay community is really, really, really open. They are very protective of their people. They don't stand for bullying or anything like that. So there is a home for everyone that wants to be curious about it in cosplay.
All right. So you can just check it out. You don't have to, a night or whatever. I mean, what are some of you're mentioning categories, but what are some of the favorite type things that you see people, expressing through this?
With cosplay, especially at conventions, a lot of people will work for, a year. As soon as Dragon Con ends this year, some people will start their next year's build. What we usually see a lot of is whatever's popular in pop culture. This year, it's definitely going to be like Suicide Squad. You're going to see tons of Harleys and Jokers and things like that. You might see a lot of Wonder Woman since she's just come out with Batman versus Superman, and she's getting a lot of attention. You're going to see whatever is really, really hot right now because it's really easy to access. You can find reference images really simply. And it's just what's out there.
Wow, that sounds like so much fun. It makes me want to just dress up. I have some friends who are involved in this, and cosplay is a great thing. And we're here with Alexis Montclair. We're talking about cosplay, and Con Nooga comes up in February. So this is all about expressing fantasy or just having fun, making really cool things to wear, and almost becoming another persona.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So wonderful. So, and how many about people attend? You said as far as the convention, the Dragon Con, you're saying 60,000?
I think 60,000 was the last number that I saw for that. Con Nooga, we have several thousand. We're trying to not get so super huge because, we only have so much space for our venues here, but we are kind of considered Dragon Con light at Con Nooga just because we have a lot of the same feel without.
Yeah. So, and that's going to be at the Chattanooga Choo Choo?
Correct.
Awesome. So people come in and stay in town and things, probably a big probably not just people from Chattanooga come
Right.
to this.
Yeah, we have people from all across the Southeast come. It's a big, kind of like a family reunion every year.
Yeah, so my friends up in New York, Carla, come to Chattanooga, come to Connooga.
Do it.
All you Northerners and everybody, come on down here, check us out. It'll seem like fall in February here. You won't even believe it. No snow, that sort of thing. So flee the winter and come and visit Chattanooga for this Connooga. So, okay, you were telling me about a few other things you do. Now, some people might be like, why is this art? Yes, it's art. If you can show your wings. I mean, these people sew, create, paint, makeup. These are one of the types of things they wear. And it's a giant set of wings. So you can be anything you want to be, from an animal to a medieval to a fairy.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the other things that people...
They're usually genres. You can do anime, you can do anything like Star Trek, Star Wars, comic books, movies. Comic books seems to be really, really popular. Everybody wants to be a comic hero. So we see a lot of the Marvel and DC, things like that. The really commonly iconic superheroes are super popular.
Well, I'm coming as Catwoman. That's it.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah. I'll have to work out first, though.
No, you don't. And that's a good point. That the thing about cosplay is everybody is really body positive. You don't have to work out. You don't have to be 110 pounds soaking wet. You don't have to have that perfect hourglass figure. If you want to dress as Catwoman, it doesn't matter what you look like. You dress as Catwoman and you come out there and you have fun.
That sounds great. So it's a very supportive group, and there's no judgment on people just having fun. That's the real thing there, right?
Yeah. And if you do, we are very anti-bullying. And if you do have someone that says something unfortunate to you or anything like that, the backlash is quick and severe.
Ooh,
so
do you have a dungeon? Do you throw them in the dungeon?
I mean, if you're at LARP, probably. But normally it's just, like we had an instance here locally, a cosplay friend of mine named Bella Sparkles. She did Harley Quinn for the release of the film. And she's a curvy girl. She's real pretty. And someone made some really unfortunate comments about her weight that were absolutely uncalled for. And the social media backlash against that guy was fantastic. And so many great supporting people came out and were just super positive about it. Till it's just a community that really stomps out not negative opinion, but negative feelings like that. Because we just don't need that. We're here to have fun. If you can't be nice, stay home.
Right, exactly. That's kind of a good life practice, I think, Don't go out. I don't like to go out there and hurt people either way. It happens even without trying. You end up hurting people without trying.
Was it your parents and grandparents always say, if you can't say something nice, then don't say anything at all?
Yeah, that's true. Let's all try that for it, right? So you can tune in on Facebook. We're feeding live on Facebook. We are live on the radio, Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You can go to the TuneIn Radio app. So also YouTube on our website, Hot News Talk Radio. So if you're just joining us, we're here with Alexis Montclair. We're talking about cosplay, and it sounds like a lot of fun. And if you don't know what it is, basically, Alexis, it's costume playing, and there's a lot of levels.
There are. I usually equate it to about 2 levels. There are the top tier folks that are making like movie quality stuff that are exact replicas of what you're seeing on the screen or in your video games. The quote unquote professional cosplayers that strive for accuracy and are like, I'm 5'4" and weigh this much. I have to look for only characters that are 5'4" that share my weight or stuff like that. I mean, there is that level. But if you are just someone who wants to come in and have fun and things like that, those rules don't apply to you. I mean, they really don't apply to those people either, but they choose to impose those rules. But, if you want to come in and you want to be like something we see a lot is closet cosplay, where you go to your closet and you pull out an outfit and you're like, you know what? That kind of looks like Captain America. I'm casual Captain America. Okay, that is perfectly fine. As long as you want to be Captain America and you go out there and have fun, that's the only rule. You'll see that a lot, is that the only rule of cosplay is have fun. And if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
That sounds like a riot. I mean, honestly, true confessions is I would dress not necessarily in a costume every day, but I would dress a little more extreme if I didn't feel awkward in society about it. I love different clothes, colors, scarves, hats. And, do you think that this is transferring over into society where people feel more free to express who they are in their apparel?
I think so. There are a lot of cosplayers who will do random things. Like they'll post up, it's almost like flash mobs, where they will post a Facebook event like, we're going to go on Tuesday at 3:00 to the mall dressed in cosplay. And it's to get people engaged in the conversation, to make them ask questions about, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And you'll get people that are like, oh my God, freaks. But then when you actually talk to them, they're like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. I wish I could throw off the trappings of society and be as cool as you guys. So, it's a conversation.
Right. And I think it's an escape. You're, like you said, you're throwing off the rules of society for a minute. You're playing, you're being a child in your heart, imagining and the creative. So that's, this is an art form. I would say that you guys consider your costumes art, that you're making these beautiful things. You're projecting an image and getting a response from people. So that's, I think, what makes this an art as well. So really, really fun stuff here. So,
well, it is. And you're pretty much, at the end of movies, when you see wig work, costuming, leather working, a cosplayer does all of that. They are an alchemist, an engineer, a seamstress, a prop maker, just an architect of things. And even if you buy your costumes, you totally can. You don't have to make your own stuff. You don't have to sew a single stitch. You can go to Amazon and you can buy that costume, but you are living theater when you are doing that.
Ah, that's a good definition, living theater. Now, do you sew for other people? Or do you sew for yourself?
Mostly for myself. My costumes are kind of transient in nature, in that they're held together with staples and super glue and duct tape, because I don't want to fall into the pattern of having to wear the same costume over and over and over and over. It forces me to make something new, because the one I just had on is falling apart. Looks good for about a weekend for a con, and then it's done.
So you have a really varying style. That I saw a few photos of you, and sometimes you look like a goddess or a gypsy princess, and other times you had a kitty ears, or and a sort of, I believe, almost a vest, and professional, beautiful pictures. These cosplay people, the images are really amazing that you get, and you see these people, and it's very different. People look like maybe a captain, a sea captain, or anything like that, and they really take the persona. I've seen it, but I know little about it, as I said. So I imagine a lot of listeners aren't very familiar with cosplay, and you could check out Cosnuga.
You got it.
All right, I had it right the first time. So what's the cost for that? And is it just Cosnuga.com that people would look at, or?
They have a Facebook page. You can Google them. It'll bring up all of their social media, all the pre-registration. I think our last pre-reg was around $60 or so, and that's for the whole weekend. I know that price goes up the closer we get to con. So I'm not particularly sure what the cost is right now, or if we even still have pre-registration available, because I know we have a certain amount of pre-registration tickets. And once those are gone, they're gone. But you can come and register at the door. You can walk up and pay your money and go right in.
And so that's for the whole weekend. You can come and go. There's one price. So you can change. You can come back the next day as a different character.
That's right. And if you don't want to stay there all weekend, maybe you just want to give it a little try, get your toes wet, you can come in for just one day. We sell just weekend passes, just Friday passes. So you're not really committing to your whole weekend if you just want to kind of get a taste.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super interested in checking it out, if nothing else, to see even what people are coming up with, the creativity that, is going on in this. And like you said, at the end of the movie, you see all of these things in production. And these are, as you shared, like businessmen and women, every walk of life, doctors, lawyers, janitors, it doesn't matter what. This is a popular thing that goes across the board, no matter who you are. That's what you've seen, right?
Yeah. And unfortunately, some of our more professional colleagues that do this, like our doctors and engineers and things like that, they kind of have to keep it secret, because, people will make fun of them and be mean to them. And it's like, that's really unfortunate that you have to hide your joy because you're afraid of people making fun of you for having a good time.
Yeah. Well, at least they have the guts to go out and at least have the fun.
That's right.
So, I can understand, I guess, socially in the South, if you're a doctor and they find out, you're going dressed as maybe Prince Charming to something, they might think that's a little odd.
Yeah.
But
on the flip side, a lot of people use charity work as sort of their stepping stone to kind of coming out with it. we have a group here in town called Chatooine. They're a fan group that started out as Star Wars, but now they do everything. They do Disney and comic books and all kinds of stuff. And they have a very close relationship with the Children's Hospital here. And every once in a while, they will cosplay as Disney princesses or superheroes and go visit the children. So it's something that's becoming more prevalent, that what we call like muggles, non-cosplayers, for those Harry Potter fans out there, non-magic users, muggles are normal folks, to start seeing more of in very positive interaction.
Non-magic users, yes. So in the cosplay, do you actually feel that there's magic?
There can be. The way you present yourself when you're in costume, I know some of my best memories have been involving little kids, where I've done like the Disney princess thing or dressed up as Wonder Woman. And those kids, like, their imagination is so active that they don't see some girl in a Wonder Woman costume. They are looking at Diana, Princess of Themyscira. And that's the end of the story. Like, a friend of mine named Jamie does Iron Man, and he has the full like fiberglass cool suit. And they don't see like some guy that works downtown in a suit. They see Tony Stark, Iron Man, and you make that dream and that magic for that kid, and that'll stick with them for the rest of their life. So yeah, it is magic, very much so.
That's a very cool answer. I like that answer because it doesn't go off into beliefs. It was such a clear description of how art and expression affect the society. And I think it's really, you keep mentioning kids, and it sounds like you at least have a heart for kids and introducing this to them in a very positive way. And it perhaps could make a child or help a child to grow up and go into a career or avenue that they otherwise may not have the confidence to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There is a lot of coping mechanisms that can be strengthened through cosplay.
Right. I can imagine that is. So Chattanooga cosplay, some of you may never have heard of this. Google it. It's pretty interesting and really amazing creativity going on here. So Dragon Con is this weekend, and that's the biggest, as far as I know, event of the year with cosplay. So people go from all over the world, and it's a huge convention. So if you want to dress up and have some fun,
yep,
come to Chattanooga in February.
Yes,
so,
come see us.
Yeah, and it's another fun thing to do in Chattanooga. Like you can do something super simple. Like you said, you don't have to have a major costume. Just dress up as an Indian, whatever.
Yeah.
You can just start there and see how much you like it. So, yeah, I could show up in my like little flapper costume or whatever.
That would be totally fine.
So I think I'm an Indian. I'm an Indian today, right? So anyway, thanks for joining us. And Alexis Montclair, involved with Chattanooga on the Art Beat of Chattanooga. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Wars come and go, but my soldiers stay eternal.
Now you can listen to Hot News Talk Radio anywhere, streaming live at Noogaradio.com. That's Noogaradio.com.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Wow, we're not in Kansas anymore. Check out all these awesome guitars, amps, pedals, banjos, and so much more.
Suddenly, you're transported. You are on stage. Anticipation. Your fans are counting on you. You begin to play. Ecstasy, excitement, artistry and chaos, thundering applause, rock and roll.
Charvel, Gretsch, Supro, Jackson, EVH. Fulfill your dreams. Guitar, piano lessons, and more. Located at the corner of Boy Scout and Middle Valley Road in Soddy Daisy. Judah Guitar Music Store, where all your wildest dreams come true. Call 423-618-9911. Judah Guitar Music Store, where all your wildest dreams come true.
This is Mike at For the Record at Northgate Mall. We're the largest complete record store in town. We sell old and new vinyl records, celebrity posters, music posters, and we are the largest in town. Come see us.
Hi, I'm Adam Disbrow, the owner and the head surgeon of Cell Surgeon.
Broken screen? You need it repaired now. We can do that. We'll have your phone repaired within the hour. No hassle, no mess, no stress. We love fixing cell phones. Your cell phone has become part of your daily activities. You've noticed your cell phone is not charging properly. It could be a charge port issue or your charger. Come in for free. We'll test your phone and your charger. You have an expensive phone. Don't feed it with a cheap charger. A cheap charger can actually damage your device. Our high quality chargers are affordable. Cell Surgeon, 140 Northgate Mall Drive, right next to Old Chicago Pizza. 423-668-0100. www.thecellsurgeon.com. Please like us on Facebook at facebook.com/thecellsurgeon.
Get $10 off a screen repair. Mention Hot News Talk Radio. Broken screen, phone not charging, water damage, battery given out, Cell Surgeon in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza. Check us out on Facebook. Open Sunday. Cell Surgeon. We bring your phone back to life.
On your signature, you can get $150,000. Can you believe that? $150,000 on your signature. Hi, I'm Bruce Krebs with the Entrepreneur Source. There's a program right now that you can get $150,000 on your signature with no pledge of collateral or personal guarantee. Call me at 423-875-5621 to learn more. 423-875-5621. You've been thinking about starting a business? Don't do it on your own. I have a proven track record for the last 13 years, a 96% success rate. I can guide you into a franchise where you will pay yourself through the startup phase with very low or little risk. Call me now. I'm Bruce Krebs at 423-875-5621. And make sure to listen to the Entrepreneur Hour every other Wednesday from 11 to 12 o'clock. Call me now, 875-5621.
Hi, I'm Sabrina with Sabrina Realty Associates. Now is a great time to sell your home. In our area, inventory is at an all-time low, which translates into higher sales prices. Call us today at 423-499-7780 to set up a free call our unique and aggressive marketing programs. We will provide you with a free market analysis to determine the right value of your home. Call us today at 423-499-7780 or visit our website at sabrinity.com.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
All systems go.
Got a printing project on deadline? Advantage Printing in Brainerd offers the highest quality one-stop service in Chattanooga. Graphic design, printing, addressing. Don't create a mailer unless you first check with Alan about the latest postal hassle. He'll handle the whole thing for you. Advantage Printing. Your advantage is in our name. 4031 Brainerd Road next to the Bilo. Print digital or offset, wide format, engineering drawings, start to finish. Advantage Printing. Check the details with Alan. 629-1800. That's 629-1800.
All systems go.
Treat yourself and your vehicle to a sparkling shine inside and out at Country Boys and Toys. 9606 Dayton Pike, Soddy Daisy. Remember how it felt the first day you brought your new ride home, clean as a whistle, with that new car smell? Well, you can enjoy it again and again, over and over now, with auto detailing from Country Boys and Toys in Soddy Daisy. Call 309-0426. That's 309-0426.
Expect partly cloudy, hot, and humid weather out there through the afternoon. A stray shower storm possible, but not many. Highs 91 to 93 tonight. Muggy again under fair skies. Lows lower 70s. For Friday, hot, humid. Highs lower 90s. Back into the 90s as well through the weekend. Check out Super 8. When you're on the road and it's time to stop for the night, count on Super 8 Hotels, where you'll always find a dependable room at a great rate. Learn more and book today at super8.com. And I'm Sports Gene 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Core.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right. And conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Welcome back to the Art Beat of Chattanooga. I'm Jillian Collins, your host, local artist. Vanguard Artistry is my website. I'm here with Alexis Montclair on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, where you can tune in on our viral feeds. On our YouTube, you can tune in and watch us on YouTube on Hot News Talk Radio, Facebook. You can see us there, tune in radio, live on AM 1240. Also, you can call if you want to talk about cosplay with Alexis, because I don't know anything much about it, but it sounds like super fun. Our phone number is 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949. So if you want to talk about cosplay, so we're here talking about art, talking about the art of cosplay, and let's just go back over for in case anyone's just tuning in and tell them what cosplay is and who you are again. Okay, Alexis?
Hi, I'm Alexis Montclair of Shattered Stitch Cosplay. I'm Chattanooga-based cosplayer that does a lot of things here and in the Atlanta kind of like tri-state area. Cosplay is costume from overseas with their theater system, and you basically put on a Wonder Woman costume and act like Wonder Woman. There's no limitations. You can do anything that you want to do. There's no requirements. You don't have to make your own costume. It's pretty much just all about having fun.
So it's all about people making themselves into a character and sort of assimilating this persona and escaping for a minute the crazy world that we live in, which is a wonderful world, but stressful. So it's a stress reliever, I hope. Although I've seen before certain conventions, people do get a little stressed sometimes when they're very into it and working on their costume, getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big deal, right? I mean, people don't have to, but they want to really take on this persona, really have a good time. And it's all about when you see these people, it's like you're in another world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
And that's the illusion that they want to give, is they want to allow people who are observing them the ability to suspend disbelief. A lot of it too is communication. Like if I dress up as, a red shirt from Star Trek, that means that anyone that's a Star Trek fan immediately knows that they can come talk to me about something that they love.
what is that, by Grapthar's Hammer? Galaxy Quest. That one's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it when in the movie where they're all dressed, in the costumes, and that's cosplay. They're doing it right there. So, and I think they even have a convention in that movie where there's people dressed as all different forms of aliens and everything. And that's a form of cosplay, almost with a theme. So, and we've got Con Nooga coming up in February, and that's right here in Chattanooga at the Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Yep.
Reasonable price. So if you Google Con Nooga, you can register if there's still pre-registration available and check it out without a lot of commitment. And as Alexa said, you can come in jeans and a t-shirt or whatever. It's all good. You're not going to be judged. So if you want to check that out, just register for that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a few other things here, Alexis. We were talking about on the break this picture that's going around on Facebook of a woman that's controversial because they're calling her a plus size. And being that you're in the cosplay industry and you support body image as live with who you are. I mean, not that we're unhealthy is unhealthy. We're not encouraging that, but the persona that women have been placed upon us in this society to be perfect, to have the Barbie doll body or, always never have any bulges or anything like that. That's a lot of pressure.
Yes.
So, what's your take on that as a person in the industry trying to support people in general, but this Facebook post, you were saying, what is actually plus size?
The way I got into all of this is actually before I got into cosplay, I was a model. I've been doing this about 15 years, and modeling and fashion is basically cosplay because it's all garment creation. And I took my nerdy love of everything and also, my experience with garment creation, and that's where my love of cosplay came. There's a picture going around on Facebook, and it's of a girl who's tall. She's very tall and svelte, and it's, I think, a Cosmopolitan article where they called her plus size. What people don't understand about being plus size is that it doesn't mean you're fat. It doesn't mean you're overweight. It doesn't mean you're unsightly. What it means is that you are outside of a standard deviation of measurements that garment makers for runway use to mass produce their garments. It's like, I need 10 garments. They're all going to be bust, waist, hip. so that I don't have to worry about finding a model to fit it on the runway. It's pretty much standard issue. All plus size means is that your inseam might be too long. You might be too tall. Your rib cage might be 1.5 inches too wide. It is absolutely less to do with weight and image than it is just being a cookie cutter mannequin for a garment. And we have gotten so complex about plus size having a negative connotation that I just want people to know that if you are plus size, that does not mean anything is wrong with you.
Right. And I actually follow another gal on Facebook, and I won't say her name. And she's a, what do you want to call it? More robust woman, you know, beautiful, but continually meets that wall of people thinking she's fat or, you know, putting it into a negative category where she's actually happy with herself and her body. So it really does depend, you know, on that. But as far as, you know, men, I don't get this because men can go in and go, I need a 34, 36 or whatever pants. And they work. We have to go try on like 25 pairs of jeans to find one that we look totally hot in.
You know the reason for that?
Why?
It's called vanity sizing. Men's sizing is based on those bodily measurements. But women don't like to identify with their bodily measurements because of all the societal pressure that we're under. And over time, we've gone to numeric sizes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I mean, it would make me feel better to wear a 2 than a 7 or a 6 or an 8 or whatever. So what has happened over time is that manufacturers of clothing just arbitrarily stick a number on it. Like what I was saying earlier about standard size 4 is generally what the runway size is. And you would think that a standard size 4 would be a stick figure. I'm about a standard size 4. I think my hips actually exceed size 4 by about 2 or 3 inches, which is not crazy. I mean, I'm not like wayfish or anything like that. People would not think that. But that standard size 4 for runway is a 00 in most clothing now.
Well, I don't know how anyone gets to that skinny. So if you have to eat anything at all, but I just, I guess I don't understand how that it can happen. Like, why, if it's a standard measurement, do the men get to go in and buy the medium shirt and the pants by the measurements and they work? I don't think if they even put the measurements on there for us, it would still not work because we're just different. It's just very interesting how men don't have to spend that time trying on everything and figuring it out.
Fashion sizing is a hot mess. It has become so much about, like I said, vanity sizing and finding what size your person will wear till the numbers don't mean anything at all anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's what cosplay is about too. The numbers or your size doesn't matter.
Mm-mm.
You can become and play whoever you want to. It's not up to anyone else.
That's right. Size doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Anything about you. There's no defining factor in the person that you are that limits your ability to creatively express yourself. If you want to be a Black Wonder Woman or a Black Thor or a Hispanic Captain America, you do that. You do that. No one is going to stop you. And if they say anything mean to you, 10 people will stand up and tell them to sit down.
So you got like bouncers or what?
It's not particularly bouncers. It's just if you were cosplaying and I came up to you and I was like, oh, well, that looks like crap. Your immediately surrounding people are going to be like, hey, that's not okay. We police ourselves pretty hard.
Yeah, because you don't want to discourage anyone. It seems like they would basically be a very supportive environment. And I don't think people need to be afraid that if they go to the convention or a gathering or however, I don't know, if times you must have smaller gatherings and parties where you're doing cosplay, and you're talking about the other levels where you go out in the woods and play games. So let's go back over that, because some of you doctors, lawyers, and teachers or factory workers are out there in the woods playing these games. And now I know because Alexis told me.
Now this
no names here, but this is something that goes across the board. This is not just young teenagers doing cosplay. This is a worldwide practice and fun.
That's right. And it's called LARPing. It's live action role play. If you guys are familiar with Dungeons and Dragons and things like that you see like the tabletop kind of fantasy games, what LARPing is you take that out into the woods and you act it out in real life. You are legitimately playing your character. It's very safe. There are very clear rules for combat systems. Like it's basically Nerf swords and birdseed packets and stuff like that. And it's live theater. That's how I introduce people into it. One of the bigger groups up here is Heroic Interactive Theater. The HIT crew is what they're called. And it is living, breathing theater. The staff of the games will write out a script, and it's basically chapters of a book, of a story that is interactive. If you were a kid and you read those choose your own adventure books, that is literally what LARPing is.
I'm so into this already. It sounds like such a riot. So as far as, okay, just a weird question. Do people drink in this, or is this like a dry thing?
No, but if you have a private affair, then yes. But a lot of times we will go to public parks. Like if you are out at Harrison Bay or Booker T and you see a bunch of weirdos running around swinging Nerf bats at each other, you've stumbled across a LARP. But since we usually use state parks because of the fields for battles and the cabins and stuff like that, those are dry parks and drinking is not allowed. But if you have your own private event, then yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that because I want to give people a clear picture of how this is not a party event with people. It's kind of like when I started the Art Beat of Chattanooga on Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240 here. We had this discussion where it was perceived that artists are basically hippie, kind of loose leaf people, and it's just like in cosplay, we're everything from doctors to managers to anything. Women, men, everybody, kids. Art doesn't have a limit on who is an artist or who is not. Just like cosplay has the spectrum over the whole world of people dressing up and going into these roles.
That's right. It's not just unchained hedonism out in the woods. No, it's very structured and there are rules and you can't just act the fool. We don't allow that.
I'm thinking that everyone listening must want to get into this Nerf bat thing. That just sounds like so much fun. Nerf sword fighting.
It's really fun. And there are rules. I mean, you can't hit in certain places. You can't hit certain ways. You have to swing a certain way. It's very, very, very safety conscious to make sure that everybody has fun, but they also do it in a very safe and responsible way.
That's really interesting. I did not know about that part of cosplay. You know, like I said, this is pretty new to me too, other than seeing people and knowing people who do it. I've never really talked about what goes on in the realm of cosplay. So I think it's very interesting that it's a literal living fantasy and that there's these groups that go out and have battles in the woods. It reminds me of when I was a kid and they used to send the teenagers out to play capture the flag at night in the woods. It's much more involved than that, but it's that same feeling of fun and getting out in the woods. And at night, I assume most of this is at night.
No,
or is this
it's a complete day. You are literally playing a living video game. So for example, we will go out to Harrison Bay on a Friday afternoon and it's called Game On. And what Game On is the game has begun. We are now immersed. You are now your character. I don't be Alexis anymore. Now I am Liso, the Voodoo Queen, or whatever, for whatever game that I'm playing. And I am that character until Sunday morning. It is immersive. You are there. You are present in your art form and it doesn't stop. It's so cool. It's what a lot of people might equate that to, since we live around a lot of war stuff here, is the reenactments, that kind of thing.
That's exactly what I thought about. The Civil War reenactments.
Yes, it's just like the reenactments. There's a lot of scripting, but it's also, you do a lot of things on the fly. Like, I'm sure all the people who reenact, their characters have names, they have ways that they talk, that they have things that they care about, and you are quote unquote in character for those things. So it's really not any different from a reenactment, just stylistically, or maybe the world is a little different. Instead of it being war, it's, fantasy or Western or things like that. I mean, you're really limitless in the possibilities.
Yeah, the ideas are endless for sure. So are you actually camping through this, or are people spending the night? Because you said you stay in character over through the whole weekend.
Yeah, we have cabins. Like if you've ever been out to Harrison Bay or to Booker T, you see the little cabin campsites and stuff out there. So it's not primitive camping and like tents and stuff. We have cabins, but yes, it is overnight stay type thing. And you might get attacked by bandits in the middle of the night or something. It's really cool.
So even when you're sleeping, you don't know. This could be a cosplay wake-up call in the middle of the night.
You're never safe.
Oh no, I'm being abducted in the middle of the night.
It has happened.
Bandits come in. That would be, I don't know how I'd react if I was sleeping that happened, even if I was in character, it would really feel real, I think.
It does. And you get so you get into it And it's really hard. Like afterwards, we'll always go out to lunch together or something like that to help the disengagement process to go back to, I guess, regular life and things like that. And after Dragon Con next weekend, there'll be a lot of people who will it ends on Monday because it's Labor Day, but they'll also take Tuesday off because they need a day to come back to life, like to come back to a real world. So it's pretty cool.
So it's almost like, I'm sure when people are on a movie set and in a character, actors, you're an actor. You're in character. You're literally assuming another thought process, really.
Yes.
A whole nother life.
Yes.
So it's like a mini vacation from being you. Awesome. I think that we all need that. I know I do.
I'll have to get you into our next game. You'll love it.
I would love it. I'd like to take a break from being me for a minute and be someone else. So I suppose most children, when you're little, I don't know about anyone else, but I always thought about doing acting, or I was very creative as a child. When we're little, we do all these things. We do the artwork. We dress up. We make believe. I mean, I rode a horse everywhere when I was a kid, and I did not own one. So, that was just, I think this is a fun thing that makes you pull up that child in yourself, that creative child. And
it's extinguished in you as you grow up. You have to, quote unquote, put away childish things and start worrying about bills, taxes, getting a job and things like that. And it takes you back to that level of pretend that you got to experience as a child that just made life so much easier, because pretend is a really great coping mechanisms for the stress that we do experience as our adult lives. I mean, it really does help.
Yeah, I think that's exactly, I can see how that would be the case. I can see how being in cosplay and becoming another persona for a time could really be a good coping mechanism. And I think it's just sounds like a riot. So I'm looking forward to seeing it in action.
Oh, yeah, you're coming.
Yeah, Chattanooga in February. See, I'll have to come up with a costume then, right?
Yeah.
I might need help.
You don't even, if you want to just get crazy with it, there's also a whole nother level called what's OC, which is original character. You don't even have to be something that already exists. You can just make your own fancy outfit and just make something up.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So everything you've been collecting to be weird all your life, you can just sort of put it together and you'll be amazing instead of weird.
Just throw it in the floor and wear what sticks.
All right. So just roll around in your stuff and then show up.
Yes.
Yeah, and your clothes. Yeah. All right. So that sounds like a lot of fun. So is this the one I'm going to is the one in February?
Yes. February is Chattanooga.
But that's not camping.
No, we will have more LARP events coming up. I know we've got a couple in September. There's going to be some in October, so it'll start to cool off where being active out there is not just so soul-drainingly miserable as you sweat. But yeah, I will definitely let you come out there with us.
Is there an event, a small event before that we could do a little Facebook feed and show Chattanooga this in action?
I think our next one is going to be the weekend of September 18th. So we're almost there. It'll be the weekend after Dragon Con.
All right. So if you can let me know, I'd love to show people what actually, if they haven't seen this, that this is going on in Chattanooga around the world. It's huge, huge art form with people dressing as characters, animals, make-believe, anything, pirates, anything you want. You can dress up and go to these events and literally get into character and kind of escape adulting for a few minutes.
Yes.
That lovely adulting. So it's just something you can look into in Chattanooga. And again, it is an art form. You heard Alexa say several times, our art, it's theater. They're literally creating scripts and characters and learning, not learning lines, I suppose, but.
No, it is all improv.
Improv. There you go. Yeah. And so it's also requires a lot of intelligence as well. This is not an empty practice. You've got to have some foundation under you to interact, and so it's an intellectual as well, I guess is what I'm saying.
I mean, you can come out there and shoot from the hip and just take whatever comes with that. You don't have to take improv or theater classes, although they certainly help, but you don't have to. You can just come out there and pick up and play.
Yeah, and there are improv classes, Improv Chattanooga, in right here. You can take improv right here in Chattanooga. Stimulate your mind, your conversation skills, and that's what this does as well. You're stimulating your creative processes, you're interacting, you're making friends.
Yes.
So it just sounds wonderful. So that's cosplay, costume play, and it's going here in Chattanooga and all over the world. So Dragon Con is coming up.
The Labor Day weekend.
And that is a huge, huge cosplay event that people from all over the nation and probably the world attend. So I've heard about it from everyone I know who's into cosplay.
Oh yeah, it's international. We have people from Europe and Asia and all kind of places come.
Do they have any speakers?
Oh yeah, they have all kind of programming from anything you could like, any TV shows, books, movies, costuming. They have, world authorities on all of these things that come to speak, even computer programming and things like that. If you have an interest, it's represented there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Alexis, for joining us on the Heartbeat of Chattanooga on Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240. Thank you, Judah Guitars, located at Middle Valley and Boy Scout Road. That's where all your wildest dreams come true. And remember to support CODA and the Southern Bend Yoga Festival this weekend, Saturday at noon, to help children in Chattanooga that are waiting for transplants. Thanks a lot and have a great day.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
I'm Larry Daniels from Daniels Insurance, and on the average, our customers save $400 a year. We offer retirement vehicles and annuities in addition to other investment products that help you protect your family. Call 423-33